Will I die if I eat the berries on this tree behind me? There's a saying I recall that says unless you really know what you're doing, the only mushrooms that you should eat are the ones that say mushroom in the grocery store. Same goes with berries. There are different kind of berries out there that are very toxic to humans, and the ones on this tree, they look very close to one that's potentially poisonous. I've never known what this tree actually was. It's been here since I've lived here, and if you look, it produces a berry. Go from red to dark purple, then almost black by the end of summer, and they end up falling down, making a mess of the yard, and birds come and knock them down and stuff like that. And I've never known what this tree actually is. I've tried to investigate numerous times and never came up with a satisfactory answer. At first I thought it might have been an elderberry, but the raceme, that's the little stem that the berries form on, it doesn't look like that on an elderberry. So I was never quite sure what this tree was. So I did a little bit more investigating this year before I made the decision to cut this tree down. And it turns out it's gonna be one of two trees. It's either a chokecherry or it's a wild black cherry. Either one is okay because both the berries are edibles. From what I've learned, you can tell it's a cherry by the nature of its bark. They describe it as a potato chip type of flaking. Now, if it was a black cherry, it might be a little bit deeper, darker color, but it's still a relatively young tree here. So that might not be so much of a key. But the shape of the bark apparently gives it away as a cherry. The leaves on it would tend to suggest a chokecherry because the chokecherry leaf is a little bit rounder than the black cherry. But then when you look at the leaves over here, they tend to be a little long and narrow, not so round. So I'm really not quite sure which one it is. It could run either way, it seems. But the racemes would indicate that it's either going to be the chokecherry or the black cherry. So this tree is going to stay. And come the fall, when these fruit ripen, I'll be getting a ladder and getting up there and harvesting all the berries because it produces a heck of a lot of berries. And you can make jams, jellies, pies, and even the base for liqueurs. Now I make mead, and I have a idea of using these berries to make a mead from them as well. So I think this will be a great addition to the food forest now that I know what it is. And if you look at the branches over here, you can see that it's just covered in these racemes that are going to be producing berries. So that's a pretty exciting development. And I actually have a tree that I want to have in my food forest. And it's been here staring me in the face for so long, and I've completely ignored it all these years, only because I wasn't sure what it was. The berries on it look very much like a pokeweed. Now, pokeweed is potentially dangerous to humans. There's a lot of parts of the pokeweed that are toxic, and the roots in particular, the bark. So if you ate it, it could kill you. The berries too. They're probably the least toxic of the different parts of the pokeweed. And as its name suggests, it being a weed, it's more of a vine to a shrub type of plant, not a tree, which is why I never really thought it was the pokeweed, but I didn't want to take a chance either. Now, there are some tests I can do to determine whether or not they're toxic. For one, once the berries come in bloom, I can squeeze some of the juice out, rub it on the skin, see if there's any kind of reaction to the berry. If there is, toxic. If not, go to step 2, which would be to take the berry and kind of rub it on my lips. And don't swallow any, just put it on the lips and see if there's any kind of tingling sensation. If there is, again, toxic, probably not good to eat. If not, go to the next step, would be to take the berry and put it in on my tongue. Don't swallow it. Don't let any of the juices or anything go down the throat. But again, see if there's any kind of tingling sensation, any kind of reaction to the berry on the tongue. If there is, then there's a good chance it's a toxic berry. If not, then it's probably safe for human consumption. So I think I've narrowed it down to it being the choke cherry or the wild black cherry, which is also called the rum cherry, which sounds quite promising. So this will be part of the food forest going forward. All right, if you like what you see, give the video a thumbs up and ring that alarm bell, and that way you'll be notified right away when videos like this are posted. And check us out on Facebook, where I regularly update on how I'm turning my suburban home into a homestead. Thanks for watching.